Welcome, everybody, to today's session. This is our last session of the Developer Associate Series. So thank you for making it through this whole process with us. And we know you'll be excited to finish this off and get your training credential. We're going to go through just all the rest of the series, the expectations, and all that today. So just once again, I'm Diana Graham, the Community Marketing Manager for the Americas with UiPath. And then Manjula and Ravathi have been helping in the background. They're from the Next Innings, just supporting this program, bringing in people from all over, and also helping with our career sessions. And then lastly, Anna Maria has been doing a lot of work in the background with the websites, the forum, and setting up the events. So today is our last session. We're excited. Let's see. So we're going to be talking about the automation methodology. So this will be a great session for you guys to um, find out about how this all ties together. And then I will be going through the criteria that you still need to take in addition to all the content we've provided for you. And just remember that you have till the end of March to finish all of your self-paced training. If you guys are stuck, if you have any problems, just reach out to us on the forum and we'll help guide you through anything that you still need help with. So today I'm excited because we have Deepak on the call. I'm going to let all these guys introduce themselves to you. We have Will, we have Lagesh, and we have Tracy. So Deepak, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Dana. So myself, Deepak Rai, and I'm MVP from last 6 years, and I am from Mumbai chapter, and I used to collaborate on video content as well as articles, and very much active on the LinkedIn. So that's about me.
Thank you so much. Will, how about you?
Hi, everybody. My name is Will. I work at Purdue University. I've been an MVP, 2025. It's been a wonderful experience. I work as a senior AI engineer for RPA at Purdue University. And so a lot of my work has been, building automations, maintaining the infrastructure, and leading our team to deliver products. It's great to be a part of this.
Great, thanks. Lagesh, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sounds good, Diana. My name is Logesh. I'm a technical architect at Cubotica. My role with customers is mainly to help them with scale and grow in their automation journey, especially using UiPath platform. I've been using UiPath platform for almost like 5 years now. I'll be helping out with chat questions today. So if you have any questions, feel free to post it in the chat or reach out to me outside of this meeting as well. Happy to help.
Great. And Tracy?
Hi, Tracy Dixon, 6-year MVP now. Live in Florida, work for Century Consulting and really any automation role on automation focused projects. And I'm part of the overall process improvement team. So happy to be here, just helping out in the chat.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. So again, we're going to be talking about the methodology today. And again, I'm just going to remind you, if you have any self-paced learning that you still need to do, we just want to make sure that you also understand that you need to follow all the things on the learning path. So in order to complete and get your training credentials, you still need to go through working with local files and folders, UiPath Integration Service Overview, Object Repository and Studio, and all this information is in the course description. So just a reminder for you. Again, if you have any problems, you want to finish all the rest of the surveys. And then lastly, if you are interested in getting certified and getting a voucher, you can reach out to me, but you have to have the training credential that you have passed this series in order for me to look at this and provide that certification voucher to you. So just to be really clear about that, thank you. And I will also put these important links once again into the chat so you can find all the information you need. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to Deepak.
Thank you, Dana. Please confirm if you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, thank you all. for joining today's sessions. And today we are going to cover about orchestrator, how we can work with the orchestrator, which all components we have inside the orchestrator, UiPath layout, organizing projects accordingly, which all best practices we can follow, then the implementations methodologies, what all models we have when we are doing implementations, and which all stages are involved during these implementations methodologies. Along with this, we are going to cover demo. So today me and Will is going to cover all those topics. So feel free to stop me any point of times and raise your questions. You can also use your chat sections for putting your questions there. Now, first of all, when we start with the orchestrator, it's the heart of UiPath ecosystem. Whenever we are building any solutions, these solutions are deployed into the orchestrator, and from there we are managing. But there are several components are involved inside the orchestrator, which is helping us to manage each and every processes along with their package, assets, credentials, everything we can manage. So when we are talking about the orchestrator, it is not just about the robot, it is not just about the queue solutions and all. We are talking about each and every components within the orchestrator. So first, I will target on the managing logs because it's a centralized place. So whenever we are deploying any solutions, these solutions generate, when we are executing it, these solutions generate the logs. And these logs, we can see it along with the solutions what we have or what we have deployed. And if you are struggling to get or if you are trying to get the issues why it is occurring, you wanted to understand the root cause of the issues, you can always check the logs, and these logs will help you to understand where your code is breaking. What was the problem? Is it related with the environment? Is it related with the actual coding practice, or is there any logic is missing, or if application is showing in issues? So everything we will get it inside the logs, and these logs we can easily get it from orchestrator. If you want, even you can download into the .text format, and that format you can utilize it for your root cause analysis. Second point is foldering structure. Whenever we are building any solutions, we if we have the authentications, if we have the superior authentications within the orchestrator, you'll see a lot of folders are created. What is the best practices we can achieve? So consider you're working into same company, and all of the solutions whatever we have is utilized within the company itself. So taking one examples, inside or internal projects. So these internal projects can be categorized based on the departments. So if you are working with HR, IT, or procurement departments, or maybe you're working with the operations teams or sales teams, you can deploy these solutions accordingly. And the solutions which we are building, right, folder structure is helping us to maintain these code repository, and even we can do restrictions. So consider one of the developers under our team who is working with HR team, and he don't know anything about other department like IT, operations, procurement, anything, and he is not even involved with it. So as a part of security ethics, or as a part of privacy policies or security protocols, that person or developer should have just a folder structure permissions within the HR team itself. Accordingly, we can set it up. This is one of the protocol which we follows. Might be the developer is involved into the multiple department projects. We can always give the permissions. The point of doing discussions on the restrictions, we are trying to keep data protected there. In terms of development, it's fine if we provide the access to the developer label, but sales department could not have the access of HR department. If we want to set this type of restrictions, we can also do it. This is on a department level. We can also set the restrictions on a core functionality wise. So if we are working or building the solutions if we are working or building the solutions in SAP, and in SAP we have many folds. So if you're working for PPQM, or if you're working for RTR test cases or development, or if you're working for P2P, these all segregations you can also maintain it. So whenever you'll build the solutions, if you are maintaining these type of segregations, it is always help you to streamline the process, as well as set the restrictions within the team itself. So those who are authorized to get the access of these development or solutions what we have built, they can see it. So we can create a parent label structures. Under that we can create a child folders and maintain it. So this is inside the internal projects. Assume we are solution based company, and we wanted to build solutions for different clients, and this is one infra, or this is a one tenants we are maintaining it. So within the tenants, if you wanted to maintain all those solutions in a folder wise structures, we can create the solutions according to the company wise. So if you're working with the company A, B, and C, you can create a folder structure accordingly. So that is a third example. So the way you want, you can create the folder and maintain all those solutions within the folder structure. Third is queue, package, and assets. When we are talking about the solutions, and if we wanted to utilize the data can be utilized in multiple ways. QA is one of the example of it. So if we wanted to take the input from the Excel, or we are collecting data from the web pages after extractions, we can also maintain it. And based on the transactions, we can execute these processes. So Q is also part of collecting either data or storing the results. Packages are nothing but the solutions what we have built and uploaded into the orchestrator. And when we are talking about the security protocols, whatever confidential informations we wanted to store, we can set inside the assets. And these assets are helping us to protect any of the informations from the intruder. So those who don't have the, whenever we are running these solutions, if we don't want it to showcase these solutions to the external, or the credentials to the external world, we can always protect the informations under the assets. And we are normally using four types of the assets. One could be credentials, text data, or if we wanted to image based, or these four assets we can use it. Fourth is libraries and templates. So whenever we are working with the studio, and if we are building any libraries, that libraries can be deployed here. And if we wanted to execute any of the packages or solutions, we always create a templates. According to the template restrictions, we are able to execute these processes. So that is also a part of orchestrator itself. Assume a scenario where we wanted to get some informations,
Yeah,
and
excuse
we
me. I can hear some background noise. Can somebody put themselves on mute, please? Thank you. Sorry.
in terms of a storage bucket, if we wanted to get connected or store any of those informations under storage bucket, we can maintain it. And when we are using the storage bucket, we have three types available. One, directly using with the UiPath storage bucket, which is maintained directly by the UiPath orchestrator team or UiPath ecosystem. Second is AWS, and third, we can use a storage bucket for Azure. So there are three types which we can use it for storing any of those informations where we wanted to store it. And when we wanted to connect these storage buckets, we can use the credentials. Either if you are using the AWS, we can use S3, or by using those credentials we can get it login. And when we wanted to get connected with the AWS protocols, whatever confidential informations we wanted to use, we can use the storage bucket, AWS storage bucket. If you will prefer to use Azure, you can also use it. And finally, working with the orchestrator, we have packages. So whichever packages we were uploading on one server, if you wanted to do the migrations, or if you wanted to move from one instance to the other instance, we can also do it by this. If you have any questions, I will be happy to take it on orchestrator part. Okay. Next is working with the UiPath workflow layout. So whenever we are creating any studio solutions, it is always segregated into earlier it used to be a part of sequence work, flow charts and state machines. Now this is the major components. If you want, even we can create a coded solutions where you can write it down the solutions in the coding language, and UiPath support C# as of now, but in futures we can add more languages, or you can expect more languages. So in terms of layout, sequence is the linear flow which executes activity one after the other, and this is best for simple processes. If you wanted to go ahead with the step-wise test processes or the task, I can take one examples here. Consider you wanted to do the form filling. By collecting data from the Excel, you wanted to insert these informations inside the form itself. So rather than using the very complex processes or RE framework, you can always go ahead with the sequence where from one side, the data will be collected from the Excel, and whatever data inputs we have, we can insert inside the form itself. So this is step-by-step process, and we can follow each and every step one after the other. When we are working with the conditional flow, with the branching, loops, and multiple paths we are following, we can always prefer to use flowcharts. And when we have the complex processes or workflows with decisions and logics, that time we are using flowcharts. And one example I can take here is if we are working with two applications. One, we are getting informations from the Outlook, and we have to apply some regex. After regex, we wanted to add some conditions. Post these conditions, we wanted to take out informations from the Outlook and insert into the SAP. That time we can use flowchart. Similarly, if we wanted to run long-running or iterative workflows, we can always go for state machines. And state machines are majorly provided the event-driven transitions between one state after the other. So RE framework is one of the examples which we can see. And I think in one of the sessions, it is deeply discussed. So if you don't know about the RE framework, feel free to refer the previous video as well. Now, next topic is organizing the projects. So there are multiple ways which we can follow to make our project streamlined, and these are the three different factors we should consider breaking down these criteria. So if you have automated the applications and you wanted the purpose of certain operations, like we have login, processing, reading a documents using OCR, filling inside the templates, and so on. So if we have this type of process and the complexity of each workflows, accordingly, workflow reusability in other projects, these all can be three factors which we can discuss. Let me give you one example. Assume the same scenario what I have mentioned in the previous slide. Assume we have inputs from the email, that is Outlook. After getting inputs, we are applying some conditions. That is the second step, where we are doing some regex operations or putting some conditions just for the filtrations point of view. And after that, we are inserting these record into the SAP. And once the SAP data is submitted, we are sending an email to the end user. Either that could be a focal point of the SAP user, or maybe to the administrator after the process is done. So these are the four steps we have. So in terms of Outlook login, we are going to use the login flow. Exactly same way, we are going to create a login flow for the SAP. So we can maintain within one folder. If you want, you can segregate into the different folders as well, or you can create a two different flow, and we can embed within one process when we are running end to end. Second will be inside the Outlook when we are logged in is done. If we wanted to download any of those attachments which is present into the Outlook email and try to read these informations. Maybe assume it's invoices. We wanted to collect the informations by OCR, or maybe by using document understanding process, anything. This process we can create in a separate workflow or sequence according to your preference, and post that we are getting output of the extractions and inserting inside the SAP. That is the third step. So these are the very different and complex processes. We have to create too many flows. So maintaining inside the order by using a folder structure, if you're following RE frameworks, it's well enough, where we can maintain each and everything within the folder itself, where we can create a config file in a separate folder. We are maintaining the input and output file in the two different folders. After that, if we have a set of workflows, we are maintaining it into the exceptions handling is a different part. So organizing these projects when we have the complexity and maintaining these in the folder structures is helping you to make your life easier. And if post developments, someone from your team members who is trying to update it, they will find very useful or they easy to maintain it. Otherwise, if your workflows are clumsy and people who is revisiting first time, they don't have any idea about it, it is creating much complexity for them to reorganize this and try to find out the informations. They might reach out to you again and again. So better we can organize these projects accordingly. Now, which all best practices we can follow for project organizations? First, an important part is pick a suitable layout for your projects. If you're working on SAP automations, we have a templates available by default provided by the UiPath itself. We can use those templates. If the processes are too complex, go ahead and select the RE framework, where you will get each and everything built within the same framework. You have to just use this framework to make your project streamlined and well-maintained structure. If we are working with the test automations framework, we can use test automations. We also have mobile automations. But anyhow, if you don't want to these structure, we can also build our own structure which can be suitable related to your requirements, and accordingly you can maintain the folder. So it's a very important part which layout you are selecting and how you want to organize it. Organizing these projects into a smaller workflows can help you for long term or long journey. Consider we have built the solutions, after sometimes there is a change request comes in. If you have the smaller workflows, probably it will not break and we can maintain it very quickly, or uh, uh, we can do the change request very quickly. If any failure coming in one workflow, and because of the updates, we can also fix it very quickly. In terms of exceptions handling, to capture and manage errors, where we can maintain the recordings or screenshots to be captured after every failure. So once the failure occurs, we can take a snap of it, and after that, earlier we used to have the recording capabilities, where we can use third-party solutions for recording each and every steps. Now that is not working in the current versions, but if we have these type of capabilities, we can record for the audit point of view, or maybe we can capture for revisiting our code, how it is working, if anything is failing, in which steps it is failing, and so on. So we can handle the credentials carefully. It means we can always use assets or secure protocols to maintain the credentials. If you wanted to use the Windows Credential Manager, we can also connect for storing any of our credentials there. We can also use storage bucket, where we can maintain more secured informations. Like if we wanted to utilize the Azure or AWS, that can be helpful. Making our workflows readable and keeping our automations clean and tidy. If any activities are not usable, we can remove it. So following these best practices, it is making our life easy for long run as well as for maintenance point of view, or even when we are revisiting the code at the time of change request or at the time of failures, it will be very easy for us to maintain. Keeping our code automations clean, it means if we have created too many uh, variables or arguments, or if we have added lot of activities which is in the comment sections, we can immediately remove it. Along with this, if you want, you can always use workflow analyzer. Workflow analyzer will help you to identify in which sections you are using too many actions which is not needed. If we have created any connections related to the database, that can also get highlighted. We have created the connections but we have not used it. Similar way, if we have created any variables and we have not utilized anywhere, that can also get highlighted. So there's close to 87 actions which we can see it as a part of either warning, exceptions, or for informations, which is helping you to make your code clean. So after the solution is done, if you wanted to verify your solution is ready to deploy, before deploying, you can always start analyzing your code by using workflow analyzer, and you'll get to know. So by following these best practices, it will always help you to make or follow the standard protocols what we are following into the RPA industry. Any questions we have here? You can always unmute yourself and raise your questions. If not, use the chat as well. Okay, now let's talk about the different sections which is involved into the implementations methodologies. So UiPath or UiPath ecosystem is giving us or providing the flexibility, relevance, versatility, as well as providing the code into the different model structure. So normally we are talking about 4 models when we are trying to implement these processes. So consider we have a customer who has reached out to either UiPath or any of the solutions partner, or we are calling as implementations team. So implementations teams are following these 4 models, which we will see it in the next slide. Now, for automations methodologies models, these models are talking about different structures, and consider one organizations has internal resources for both requesting automations and executing it. So the key roles involved within this model is client, automation COE, and implementations team. So client is internal department requesting for the automations. Taking an examples, we have a development team who is coming under a development bucket, and procurement team is having some request internally within the same organizations, and they wanted to build some automations which will help them to use it on a regular basis for any release happens in the in SAP, or whenever they wanted to do the reconciliations process. Automation COE provide the UiPath expertise and oversee the implementations, and implementations team, that is a developer or the automations team, will build the solutions and deploy it to the internal departments. An internal department will utilize these solutions to make their process easy. So best for is organizations with an established automation COE, that is Center of Excellence, and internal resources for automations executions can be helpful. So here the process itself built internally and can be utilized within the same company. So company A, who is the creator or implementations partner for the company A itself. So it is the same process built internally. Second is external partner driven model. So this model talks about if organizations lack internal automations expertise, they can always engage with the external provider. Taking examples, if IBM, who wanted to build the solutions, and they will reach out to a vendor A who is providing the automations expertise. So in this case, vendor A is the external provider and IBM will become a client for it. So IBM is the organizations which is requesting for the automations. External partner is UiPath, official partners providing expertise and executions. An implementations team will provide the external partner to deliver these automation solutions. Best for as organizations looking to automate the processes, but without internal expertise for implementations, and they will get it done by using external parties. Third model is UiPath-driven models. The organization directly obtains both UiPath licenses and implementation services from UiPath professional service provider. So UiPath is not just selling the license; they are also having internal team who is supporting for implementations. So any processes which is complex enough where company is reaching out to the UiPath, UiPath team will build solutions from the professional service team and provides the necessary expertise and implementations needed for the team member. So client will be always the third party who all reach out to the UiPath professional services, and professional services will build the solutions for client. So organizations preferring to work directly with the UiPath for both licensing and implementations, they can reach out to the UiPath driven model. That is model number 3. In fourth model, it is a hybrid model. It is a combination of external partners and UiPath services to fulfill diverse implementations needs. And the key role for this is the organizations driving the automations, transformations, where UiPath, including the external partners, can work. So I can take one example. We have a lot of external partners like Boundless, Wonderbots. So these all are the external partners who always supports to the UiPath, where both UiPath expertise and external partners work together to deliver this type of implementations. And best for organizations with the multiple projects and complex automations programs requiring both internal and external resources can go for model number 4, that is hybrid model. So this is for automations, methodologies, models. Now, when we are talking about the implementations, there are certain steps are involved during these stages. And in automation methodologies, these are 8 different stages are present, which is helping us to reach to the final solutions. So first is kickoff. Inside the kickoff solutions, normally business team is talking with the implementations partner, or the client is talking with the implementations partner, just trying to get the requirement done. And based on the requirements, the implementations partner will provide the necessary steps to be taken, and based on those steps, they will get the final solutions ready. So this is the first steps where solution architect, business analyst, and project management team will be involved on the kickoff stages from the implementations partner side of it. In terms of the client side or the sponsor side, the sponsors will involve the technical person, as well as they can also invite some of the team members. Those who are using, they can be called as a SME, and those SME will provide the detailed and necessary informations to the implementations partner, and accordingly they can proceed it further. So here, if we will talk about the stages in the kickoff call, so rules are involved, as I mentioned, the solution architect, project manager, and infra engineer. In the kickoff call, they are defining the project expectations and conduct RP readiness discussions. This also, within the same process, it also talks about review and approve for the statement of work. Normally here we are defining the structure, how we can work on it, explanation cycles, then issue tracking sheets, UAT plan, all those things will be discussed here. Setting up communications cadence and initiate issue tracking, these all will be under kickoff. Second stage is business case and technical validations. There are certain rules are involved within these stages. So majorly solution architect, project manager, and business analyst. So here all the three roles will sit together and try to access the feasibility, if we are able to achieve it or not, what is the complexity level, which all applications are involved, then if any error occurs, what could be the actions we can take, what will be the manual step, which all applications we can use it for making this automations running. Depending on the nature of each automations initiative, the size of the structure of the teams can be vary from the applications to applications, which all steps are available, validating the timelines, cost benefit analysis, business cases, ensuring the alignment with the contractual expectations, as well as coming up with the different plans how we can achieve in this stage. So business case plus technical validations will be done in the stage 2. Next will be process analysis. During the process analysis phase, a detailed walkthrough will be done. After the walkthrough, team will prepare business analyst along with the technical person. They will prepare the PDD, that is process design document, where as is process and to be process will be captured. As is, it means the current processes, how manual team is executing it, and after that how the design will looks like. It means the to be process, that is futuristic after the development. So in this process definition documents, everything will be mentioned, including the feasibility scope, and then the all the images will be captured, along with the what is the business applications sorry, exceptions, then the business level exceptions. Those all parameters will be covered here. And after getting approval from the sponsor, finalizing the process flow and user acceptance testing plans will be shared during this phase. Next will be solution design. During the solution design, solution architect, project manager, and automations developer will be involved. During this phase, solution architect will prepare technical design documentations, that is called as solution design document, SDD. It solution architect also maps the automations module, applications access requirements, planned technical testing, and including system integrations will be the part of it. How many licenses will be utilized? What will be the structure of these licenses? How many developers we can use it for the developments? Along with this, uh, the architecture diagram, the technical architecture diagram will be also included within this. Next will be development and testing. During the development and testing phases, solution architect, project manager, and automations developer will be involved. Based on the PDD and SDD, development team will build the solutions. They will, after the development, they will conduct unit testing, functional and system and integration testing. And once the executions of the technical testing and code reviews are done, we are moving towards UAT, that is called as user acceptance testing, where solution architect, business analyst, project manager, and automations developer will be involved. So testing each and every scenarios, what we have covered during this is needed. But most of the times it is from the client side who does this type of testing, and the client role will be also involved in this. So test automations in a real world scenario, including the exception handling, documents, results, and creating a run book for operational use purpose. Sometimes we are also delivering the technical troubleshooting documentations based on the demands. Along with, if any other documentations are needed, just to operationalize this and move it into the production phases, we need those documentations. And finally, we are moving towards the deployment and hypercare, where all the team members from the implementation side will be involved. deploying these solutions to the first either staging environment, or if we have a directly productions environment, we can always use it. So deploying automations to the productions and monitor performances, fixing all the bugs and update the runbooks, conduct the knowledge transfer for long-term maintenance. Yeah, long-term maintenance will be done during the hypercare, depending on the contract, depending on the initial discussions. Team always be ready with hypercare phases. So sometimes it might be for weeks time hypercares. According to the contract label, we can always stick with this. So if any changes are needed within this phase, team has to fix it. And finally, we have a project closer. So during the project closer, solution architect, project manager, business analyst, infra engineer, automations developer, and client teams, everyone will be involved. So this ensures all deliverables will be met and contractual obligations, transferring the documentations and support responsibilities, finalizing the financial closure and sign off will be taken care within this. So based on the business requirements, if we have completed all the processes and delivered the solutions accordingly, this will be called as finally moving the solutions from from the implementation, sorry, from the requirement till the project closure. Okay, now during these stages, there are several rules are involved. So one rule is from the internal plan point of view, where UiPath automations implementations methodologies. In this, these are the different rules are there, and which rules can plays an important role on what area we will see it here. So in terms of business analyst always so in terms of business analyst responsibilities will be the business analyst will prepare the business cases and technical validations, the stages in which all stages that business analyst will involve. So first, as business analyst, where he or she will be involved into the business cases and technical validations stage, process analysis stage, UAT, and solution design. And what will be the responsibility or key tasks to be covered by the business analyst. So this becomes knowledge generations of requirements gathering documentations to be converted into the PDD. Along with this, taking each and every steps to be documented and documenting the high level requirements, creating the required documentations whenever needed, creating high level and breakdowning for the to be process state, then making recommendations and runs the suitabilities and viability studies. Then along with this, creating a user acceptance testing plan. Then a business analyst is also helping to define success criteria, like understanding functional and non-functional cases or requirements. Then finally, the sign off requirements. So these all tasks will be involved, or there are several other intermediate tasks will be done by the business analyst. Next is solution architect. So all implementation stages, in all implementation stages, a solution architect will be involved, where it acts as a lead and advisor of all the development team, whoever is involved during this process. And solution architects plays a very important role in terms of architectures and automation solutions, defining these two areas, oversees the design and implementations of projects components, and recommends the approach set for tools and features. So solution architects also create an initial license and estimates and how we can proceed with utilizing these licenses, which are the best practices we can follow to make the solutions ready according to the client's requirements. Tech solution architect also ensures the technical best practices are followed. He will also play a very important role during SDD and the technical testing plan. So these are the different key activities will be performed by the solution architect. Next is automations developer. So I'm just going ahead with these three, which is a main key player for building these solutions. After that, we will cover these three. So automations developers role is involved in four different stages. First is development and testing. Second will be UAT. Third is deployment and hypercare. And fourth is project closure. And main role of automations developer is to build the solutions end to end according to the requirement or PDD documentations. Uh, so automations developer also assists to the solution architect for creating and reviewing the SDD, reviewing the project documentations as well as the PDD, maintaining code repository, building solutions, executing the testing plans, as well as creating the runbook and supports client during UAT. So these all different stages where automations developers play a very important role. Next is infra engineer. So as the name suggests, infra engineers will maintain each everything related to the infra, UiPath infra. The infra engineer assists in technical and infra related issues, and infra engineer will be involved in the beginning of the phase, that is on kickoff. So infra engineer works with the client infrastructures and applications team to integrate the UiPath platform in with the business team. He will also analyze the client's existing infrastructures as well as designing and deploying infra applications, and he will maintain and assist the upgrades as well. We also have project managers who is involved in the all the phases, where his core responsibility is to manage the overall implementations, con- coordinating and consolidating all the documentations, client teams for successful project completions, managing roadblocks, risk, changes, and escalations in the projects. Project manager will create and maintain comprehensive project documentations. Along with this statement of work to be finalized, there is no scope creep. Everything will be managed by the project manager. We also have implementations team. For implementations team, it the all the four all the five players are coming under the implementations team. So here, when we are talking about the business analyst, project manager, solution architect, infra engineer, and automations developer, all comes under the implementations team itself. But these are the three key players who is actually working on the success of any implementations. Now, from the client side, we have different roles. That is a call as client team and a client side. Sorry. Yeah. From the client team point of view, first is project owner. So in terms of project owner, the project owner who is actually raising the requirements, and all the requirements will be covered during the all the stages of the implementations, and he is involved in all the stages of the implementations, I mean. So in terms of product owner perspective, what could be the key responsibility of project process owner or project owner? So the person is familiar with the entire processes. He is the main point of contact for general informations. When it comes to the approving the process definition document and UAT testing plan, he plays a very important role. He also approves the initial and updated business cases. He approves the as is and to be high level designs. He also creates and deployment plan with the solutions architects. The process owner also creates a change ticket for productions deployment. Second is process SME. So process SME will be involved in 6 different stages. That is business case and technical validations, process analysis, UAT, deployment and hypercare, solutions design, and development and testing. These are 6 different stages he or she will be involved. So SME will supplies the standard operating procedures, that is SOP, for the selected process as well as knowledge transfer for the implementations. SME also responsible for collaborating with the business analyst and automations developers to carry out UAT. The main rules are involves raising the defects, logging it to the tools, trying to follow up with the developers to get it fixed. And once the fixing is done, SME will try to test it, notify the developer, providing the additional details, as well as SME will be involved throughout the UAT processes. Next is support team. So a role of support team is they are providing the documentations as well as knowledge transfers takes place from the development team during and after UAT. They are involved in from the development and hypercare phases as well as project closure and beyond. So support team will maintain the automations, documentations, and updates the runbook. They will also handle long-term support for automations after project closure. The support team approves change request for go live and set up productions orchestrator and robot machines. They will also deploy the automations to the productions. So these are the different key roles by the support team. When it comes to the automations operations manager will be involved from deployment and hypercare till the project closure and afterwards. So this role has the key responsibility, manages the automations once it's go lives, starts and monitors automations from a health and quality perspective, maintain the user access and allocates or reallocates robot, and notices issues first and takes steps to solve them. So these are the key roles. In terms of client project manager or client IT team, so there are 6 different roles where client IT team is involved: kickoff, process analysis, solutions design, development and testing, UAT, and deployment and hypercare. And what is the key role of client IT team is they are knowledgeable about the organization's technical setup. They will also assist the automations implementations team to integrate with the client system, providing access to the applications, provision robot, deploy automations, and support during the technical setup details and deployment with the consultant. And they will also provide consulting related to the technical perspective. Next, we have client project manager. So client project manager is involved in all the implementations phases, and he or she will be whole and sole responsible for overall implementations from the client team side. He will coordinate, this role will coordinate with the implementations team for project success, provide all necessary resources, and making them or removing the roadblocks for the implementations team. Client project manager also supports with the IT provisions, robots, hardware, and access to the relevant software, and logs the availability of the SMEs. He or she also approves the selections of deliverables, collaborating with the implementations team on project managers to develop hardware, software, and access requirement plans, manages internal processes and escalates if anything goes wrong, works with the implementations team, project managers, and project label perspective. And finally, we have engagement sponsor. So engagement sponsor will be involved during the kickoff and project closure in these 2 phases, and he or she will maintain make care of enterprise automations initiatives, finance implementations projects, approves change request and billing packages, and sign off completed projects. So these are the different roles are involved in internal team as well as client team. If you wanted to understand more about it within 1 hour or half an hour, it's not possible to cover each and every aspects, but we try to come up with as much as possible. But still, you can always feel free to navigate to the link on academy.uipath.com or UiPath forum or community forum or marketplaces to get more clarity or understanding of it. Now, after that, I will hand over mic to Will for the demo. Over to you, Will.
All right. That was such great material. I am going to kind of show some examples of how we apply this at Purdue in our current processes. So during the kickoff phase, what we do is we create a folder structure. So we've created this template that we use across projects for our products. And so as you can see, we've numbered them here to just make sure that they stay in order of the different phases. And so kickoff and discovery, that's how we kind of bind it together. And so I think we've actually got materials in here. And so this is where we collect that information and we share this with the client area or business area so that they have access to it as well. And so that there's a lot of collaboration, a lot of good communication on where we're going, what's being asked of, and how we're assessing it. And so as we kind of go from kickoff to the business case, that business case is also at Purdue, part of this discovery process. And so we engage the different levels there as well. And let me show you kind of how we do some analysis. So as we kind of do the process analysis where we're looking at their as is and think about their to be, we capture it, we capture as much as possible visually and really distill down of what is each step doing and what is the expectation, what are some comments that we need to be in mind of. And so we'll take this to be process, which will have a lot of human interaction because that's what we're automating is the human part and turning it into an automation. And then we'll transition it from the as is to a to be. Okay, what would we take over? How would we take over it? Since we're using a technical solution, what sort of features do we want to ensure based upon that agreement with the business area of what we're doing? So as you can see here, there's a retry built in. We're looking for specific, this is SIP, GUI. So we're looking for specific status messages. And so if we get a particular message, we know move on. If we get a different type of message, they want us to retry it 3 times just to ensure so that they have peace of mind that the automation is making a full attempt to get that done. And then we'll outline, and this also serves as a really great reference for our developers because they have a visual, because all the different layers that are helping support this request to becoming an actual deployed product. The developers don't always have the familiarity or hands-on experience with the system. So these screenshots and the step-by-steps really help them understand as they translate the other documentation of what is this supposed to look like? What is this supposed to do? So that helps a lot as well. And then let me show you another thing. Yep, there it is. So during the solution design phase, we do kind of 2 different things here. What we do is we do a high level. We want to make sure okay, we've done the to be, we've done the as is, we've done the to be, like the process steps. And now this represents, I'm trying to make it bigger. This represents from end to end, what are the main components that we're going to take over? So you can see here in yellow, we've got this will still remain human. The blue remains automation. And then we've got exceptions and start and end. This one in particular uses document understanding. So one of the reasons that we see yellow after the automation is that if something needs to go to Action Center, that's where a human can step in and provide that assistance of correcting the data, which will also train the model. And so we use this as a reference point to say, okay, we've got the details up until this point. We want to make sure that we're designing a solution that, one, we can technically implement, but also meets the needs of the business area or the client. And so we get approval here. And then that turns into, at least for us, as we make different components, I'll just show you one. So each component has its own inputs, outputs, and then its own design chart. And that's to help the developers as well. And so that's all part of our solution design phase. And that information gets stored, like I mentioned before, we use SharePoint. So let's see if I can pull it back up. There we go. So we use this folder structure to organize the documentation, even if it's created somewhere else. We pull copies of it into this structure so that we have it archived and available to use. It also provides a very a single spot for people to look for documentation and search for it. Okay, and then so as we go from development, we capture our notes there. We go to UAT. And one of the things I wanted to mention is that, as we look at Orchestrator, which I know was a previous session, part of what happens with this documentation is it guides us on how we're going to build this folder structure. How are we going to, what are the assets that we need to create, along with establishing naming conventions that make it easy to implement and easy to understand, along with queues. As you can see, this one is a multi-stage. So we're doing some file intake process and validation and queuing it up. And then once it's queued up, we have a document understanding process that's going to extract the data. And then it's going to provide that data to a performer, that, kind of traditional RPA, where it's going to, go through and process it within SAP GUI. And then after that's a reporter. And so this all helps to keep it structured and organized. And really what we're looking for is intuitive. So is the structure intuitive? Is the naming conventions intuitive? Does it help guide us with regard to questions and also with regard to troubleshooting? And that really that kind of blends into the testing. So as we're testing it, we do functional user tests. So we mock up what we expect the user acceptance test to be and run that as many times as possible. And you can see that here, where we've generated these queue items and we've got our own scenarios where we anticipate, which ones should be successes, which ones should fail, the reasons for the failures. And then, is the queue item containing the information that we need it to contain? And then there's also the data service that we're using, which I won't go into at the moment. But all of these components within the orchestrator link back to the documentation within that folder structure, so that we can make sure, like, okay, here's where we're at in our development. Here's where we're at in our testing. We're going to test this. We're going to use our script or our matrix for testing, and then run it, and then use that matrix and compare it to what's actually happening, and either confirm, yep, that's a success, or explore and investigate, why did that not result in the expected success or failure that we were anticipating. And then for hypercare, one of the things that we do, let me go back here, is we just monitor. So we have an agreement, an SLA with regard to monitoring. At Purdue, it can be a minimum of 2 weeks. It's usually depending upon the importance of the business area, up to 30 days, which is usually a little bit more than standard, but that's what they want. So that's what we provide. And so we have a designated person on our team or designated people on our team to do the monitoring to check, okay, which jobs have run, which ones are successful. We'll get alerts and notifications at times, but we also do a hands-on to ensure. And so then we look at if it's a success, we'll do some logging just to see, make sure. But especially with faulted or failures, we'll look at that. One of the other good things to do is you can look at the queue items as well for those success and failures to get more information. And so all this kind of blends in together of using Orchestrator, using the documentation, using the implementation methodology and process steps to not only understand the needs of the client or the business area, but to build a solution that as we test it and as we verify it, we can use these resources to confirm functionality and to confirm it's providing the value that they're looking for. And I will say for us at Purdue, as much as we would like to believe that something's closed, we're on an agile methodology approach. So we build it to be, in iterations to expand. So even though the solution that's been designed may meet their needs for a long period of time, we have constant maintenance and support here. So in case something pops up, we can capture it. And then any important meetings that are associated with conversations at any stage can be stored here too, so that we can reference them. And one of the things that we recognize and we experience is that as we build solutions that provide that value, and as they use them, especially, they have more awareness of further expansions, further opportunities for automation. So this one project, no matter how big or small, can expand and become more complicated and intricate. And so these documentations and this structure helps to capture, all the different phases of what we've built and what we've added to it. So I think I'll stop sharing, and I think we've still got time for questions. So any questions? Anything I rushed through too quickly?
Hey, you guys feel free to take yourself off mute if you have any questions. Very quiet today. That was a great presentation, Deepak and Will. Nice job. You guys sure you don't have any questions? Do you have any questions about anything about the program? Because this is our last session. So if you guys have any questions about anything, please let us know. Okay,
Hi,
with
this
that,
is Preeti. I have one question. So this folder structure, what you have shown, right? So this again for department wise, we have to create one, or for all IT, HR, all the AI operations, AI and automation operation, we can save all the documentation there. So what will be the best practice?
That's a really good question. I would say and the reason I say it this way, it's kind of couched, is because as I've interacted with various groups, the best practices become very tailored to your organizational structure and your team and your flow. And I say it that way because I'll just use the implementation methodology document that I shared earlier. That's built upon if your structure has those different roles, right? Those are the roles that are involved at those stages. We're a much smaller team, so those roles are very, very hybrid. And so because of our size, our best practices are a little bit different, because there's one person may have 2 or 3 roles within the structure, and it's not bifurcated or bifurcated. I personally find that coming up with a folder template, whether it's the one I showed you, something inspired by the one that I showed you, or your own, that template helps to make it consistent throughout the organization, and also decreases cognitive load. So you just know what you're going to use every single time, and then people get accustomed to it, and so they just have this. They built you are building intuition of, oh, I need this. I'm looking for this folder, or I'm looking for this subfolder that's always associated with that folder. So that's what I would recommend.
Thanks, William.
Well, I have a question on runbooks. Am I audible?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we did see the mention of runbooks in a few of the slides that were presented. Could you give us a gist of what the runbooks actually are? What do they contain? And who maintains it? And how do we use it?
I might need to defer to another person. We tried to use run books, but I think due to the size of our team and due to how we're currently storing data, maintaining them was not the most efficient way. I can tell you from when we started, we worked with external partners that provided run books, which were really helpful. And so it's structured, from what I can recall, it's structured. Here are the processes. Here are the main components. Here's what each main component does. Um, Here are the expected exceptions, whether they're business or system, that would occur. And here are the process steps to resolve it or to investigate it. And then I think it also included information about if an unexpected exception occurs, how to guide us on what to look at first, based upon information about how the system is structured, how the automation is structured. So sort of insights about that. There might be other people on this meeting that have more hands-on detailed experience with runbooks, so I would definitely defer to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
thank
it's
you. So it's,
Tracy.
as we understand,
I was going to offer what we do in run books as well. So for us, they're either written to the business user, depending on if they're maybe running an attended automation, something like that, or support folks. And ours go into how to actually run the given thing, what prerequisites there might be, if you need certain things installed on a machine or certain applications. If passwords have to be updated every 6 months by the organizational policy, things like that, that you would need to ongoing support running that given item. Maybe, maybe a few details technically about the automation, but that's really not for that. It's really just about sustaining what's already been built and being able to troubleshoot that a little bit if it stops running for some reason in the future.
yep, thanks for that. That completely explains what I was expecting. Yep, thanks.
Just wanted to say thanks to everyone. It's very useful training. All sessions are good. And kudos to Logesh. He's been very responsive on the chats. So looking forward to future trainings. Yes.
Great. So as part of this series, we will be doing another training. I did get a comment in the chat that somebody's interested in the solution architect, but we will be doing an agentic automation later this year. So you guys keep posted on this channel, because I think these series are really good and beneficial for you, or we would not be doing them. And it really will help you with putting those credentials on your LinkedIn profiles, and getting that credit you guys deserve for having taken this. I think it's really important for your careers. So we appreciate you guys attending and participating. It's been a lot of fun hosting this. So if you guys again have any questions on forum, or have any questions, you want to go to forum, we'll still be active there for another month while you continue your self-paced training. So if you need anything, reach out to us, please.
Will do.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.